Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Up in the Pocono.
In the Pocono,
There are a group of hotels, the honeymoon hotels, that cater almost exclusively to young married couples. And they have what they call their, they choose a honeymoon king and queen award of the week. And they send questionnaires out to all the couples to fill out. And Ira Silverman of the Mount Airy Birchwood, the Summit and Penn Hills, sent us about a year ago some of the questionnaires. Now, we won't read the first and last names, but these are for real. These are not made up. They get asked the name, the bride's hometown, the marriage date, how did you meet, briefly describe your proposal. And then I guess they choose from this and give them a free week or something. But some of them are pretty hysterical, the way these people met. Miriam and Richard. You know, these ages are just 21, so young. How did you meet? I tripped him when we were roller skating. Briefly describe your proposal. Richie decided he wasn't getting enough sleep going back and forth to my house, so he said, let's get married. I think that's a tender proposal, you know? Now he's getting a lot of sleep, and that's... Let's see, Roseanne and Dennis. When did you meet this? Briefly describe your proposal. Went skydiving, and he said, would you marry me? If not, he said he wouldn't open his chute.
wow.
So she said yes.
Yes.
It was either that or scrape him off Chicago, I suppose. Leslie and Skip. How did you meet? Smashed on frozen daiquiris. When did you meet? Around July 15th.
Well, they weren't friends.
Briefly describe your proposal. Smashed on cheap red wine. Sitting on beanbag chair at local steak and brew. She had a stomachache. This is a wonderful, wonderful arrangement.
So
I
got
got
married.
Sheridan and Eugene. How did you meet? Eugene's friend tried to make out with me, but Eugene was a better talker. That's very, very fine. Sandra and Charles. Briefly describe your proposal. Threw me down on the bed in my apartment in Erie. It certainly was Erie, you know. And asked me flatly, can you stick with me?
That's poetic. That could be a writer.
Or something like that. How, briefly describe your proposal. We were in bed, and Tom told me he wanted to get a tattoo on his arm of my name. I said, but you'll never be able to take it off. And he said, I don't want to because I want you to be my wife. And of course I said yes. That's kind of tender.
Nice, yes.
Aw.
That's nice.
Then he turned to her and said, by the way, what's your name?
Yeah, that's
You know.
right.
Joan and John. I mean, these kids are so young, 18, 19 years old. Well, they met at an Army recruiting office when we were both signing up. Describe your proposal sitting on Joan's couch in the living room, talking.
That's the old tradition.
Probably about the training films from the Army.
Yes.
Lisa and Timothy, how'd you meet? Get this. I would pick Lisa up every morning, and before school, we would both split a six-pack of beer. Now, can you imagine when you're going to school that you split a six-pack of beer before you go to school?
Arithmetic would be very strange.
Susan and Larry. Now, this is interesting. How did you meet? We were both born 3 days apart in the same hospital.
Come on.
We were both born 3 days. Her mother had the same room. March 10th to March 13th, 1952. These people were born. Where'd they meet? In the back of an incubator? How would you know? How did you meet? And they met, and apparently they met. How could you meet when you're 3 years old?
3 days old.
3 days old. How would that work
Oh,
out?
is it? Fake.
Huh?
Tear that off. That's no good.
And he said, would you like to come to my mother's for dinner? Whatever you folks make out of that, I haven't the slightest idea. Patty and Chuck. Patty was watching TV. It was a battle between me and the boob tube. I got her on a commercial. I was one of those 2-minute commercials rather than a station break. That's... How did you meet? Sarah and Thomas. First, he started asking me questions about meats. And then he asked for my name. Oh, I see he worked in a supermarket. Weird. Christine and Tom. How'd you? Tom bought Chris as a slave for $1. I don't understand that, do you?
Oh, I'd like to find out what that market is.
Brief described a proposal. I asked whether she wanted to get married in the back seat of a car. Some of these people are gonna have a long life ahead. How'd you meet? We were scratching each other's backs. Where did you meet? At a party in the woods. These are two bears. How did they get in here? Hey, this is nice. Margaret and John, where did you meet? This is right here on the couch watching Johnny Carson show. I said, Fish? Her nickname.
Oh.
Fish. During our show.
Yes.
She probably held up a can of Alpo and says, we'll be back in a minute. And that was a nice thing. You believe this one, Joanne and Walter? My tie got stuck in her zipper. Oh, well. Oh, that used to be fun. How describe your proposal? I proposed in a garage and she couldn't back out. Huh? You think that's... Well, those are weird. But anyway, I wonder who the winner was. So thank you. I think Mr. Silverman, the Mount Airy, back in Pennsylvania, for sending us those. Those are kind of interesting. Tonight we have Charlton Heston, Norman Mailer.